One of the questions that Chicago Bulls fans still had is what's going to happen with the list of with the head coach. Well, according to Jake Fischer, we now know the list of candidates that the Chicago Bulls are going to interview for their next head coach. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And Jake L. Fischer of the Stein line just reported a list that is, it said this, all but confirmed that this is the plan for Bryson Graham's brain trust. So take that for what you will. He lists 6 candidates for the Chicago Bulls' next head coach, and I already see my boy Delbert mentioning Stan Van Gundy. Guess what? He's not on the list. Shut the fuck up about Stan Van Gundy. But the names, and Delbert's family, I'm just fucking with him. But the name of people that are on the list for the Chicago Bulls include Sweeney, who's currently the Spurs associate head coach. We saw just what they did last night to the OKC Thunder. This is a name that we've heard. This is a guy that brings a really good acumen as far as development. He's a really good X's and O's coach, both on the offense and the defense. It's been reported that he is the guy that makes adjustment in several of the key playoff matchups for the San Antonio Spurs. So take that for what you will. We do know that Bryson Graham said that he wants guys that balance offense and defense very well. Micah Nori with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's their lead assistant. This is another guy that when we thought that Matt Lloyd could get the position, everybody thought was going to be one of the favorites. He's been also listed here by Jake Fischer as one of the finalists that is going to be on the list for the Chicago Bulls. Also, Oklahoma City Thunder assistant Dave Bliss. Now, this is interesting because the Bulls have already hired from the OKC Thunder and bringing Acie over from their scouting department to be the lead of player personnel here with the Chicago Bulls. Could there be a relationship there between Acie and Dave Bliss to get Dave Bliss over here? He's the current assistant with the OKC Thunder. The Portland Trailblazers interim head coach Tiago Splitter is also on this list. James Borrego, who was the interim head coach for the New Orleans Pelicans, is on this list as well. And Wes Unseld Jr., the current assistant for the Chicago Bulls, is also former head coach of the Washington Wizards, are also on this list. Now, the people that are off this list: no Sam Cassell, no Chris Quinn, no Johnny Bryant. Those are 3 of the names that we heard that the Bulls could very well be interested in. They also have interviewed for other positions. We don't know if that means that they could be, moving on to different, position already, and maybe the Bulls have that in regards to that one. But all these names offer something for the Chicago Bulls, right? Micah Nori's been strongly connected to the Chicago Bulls for the entirety of the offseason since this search kind of started. Sweeney is somebody who is a young mind, who's known as one of the up-and-coming coaches. He climbed the ranks with San Antonio, and he's been a big part of the coaching of that team. James Borrego seems like a name that's on here, and I talked about him a little bit on the daily episode today. A name that's on here mainly because of the relationship that exists between him and Bryson Graham, and maybe that's enough to get him through the door. But it seems like more of a transitional coach than a coach you want to bet on long term. That's my personal opinion. Wes Unseld Jr., a guy that's marked a lot of development over his career. This is a guy that's been in a lot of positions. He's really excelled as an assistant, but never really as a head coach. So you're looking at that part of it. But, we'll see what happens in regards to this. Now, we knew that a name was added late in the process last time, so maybe guys like Sam Cassell, Chris Quinn, Johnny Bryant could also be named into that. But, we don't know quite for sure what's going to happen in regards to that one. But this is an interesting list of names for the Chicago Bulls. And we're going to dive more into detail on it on tomorrow's daily episode. I'll get into the coaching profiles, the strengths and negatives of each one of these guys tomorrow. So make sure you guys look at that. We'll get into the heavy. This is just a breaking news episode to talk about the news, get the reaction from it kind of off the top, and we'll see what's going to happen in regards to that. Vincent says, I have not said anything since AK got fired, but I'm excited how things is going. But we still have to get the right NBA coach, get the NBA draft right. But I think I'm going to believe in BG. I mean, the process that they're putting forward is great, right? It seems like they have made the right decisions in the process. They haven't got to the ability of having results yet, but the process part has been very promising for the Chicago Bulls. We just got to hope that we got the right people that are going to build off on that. So I don't disagree with you at all in there. I think that, this is a good step. But like we said, that there was some excitement around AK when he initially got hired. It doesn't mean that it's always going to work out that way in the long run. We got to see how it's going to go. But, hey, BG, like you said, he's gotten some things in right for sure. Johnny Bryant should have been considered. Surprised he's not mentioned, but Sean Sweeney is the guy. I mean, I'm surprised as well that Johnny Bryant wasn't considered, but like I said, he has interviewed for other positions, so the Bulls may know that maybe he's a finalist for a position and it just hasn't been announced yet. He could be added later, much like, in the process for the GM, we got names added after the fact. It could very well still happen with this too. So this may just be the initial list. We'll see what happens after this, right? Like I said, don't take this yet as if they're not on this list, it means they have no chance of being the head coach. Don't take it as that yet. This is just the names that to look out for so far, and we'll see how it's going to go in regards to that. But, I think that they're on to the right path so far. I like a lot of these names. The one name that I don't really like on it, to me, is James Borrego, just because it doesn't seem like a guy that's actually going to really – I don't look – if they were to hire James Borrego, to me – he'll be here 2, maybe 3 years, and then if they made the right decisions in the rebuild, you have to move on and get another coach. I'd much rather the Chicago Bulls get somebody who can be the permanent, long-term head coach, the long-term option here for the Chicago Bulls, and get a guy that you feel like is going to be able to build a program here, be able to build a culture here that we can look back and say, hey, the guy's been here 10 years and we've been getting it done. Like, that's the type of thing that I kind of want for this Bulls team. We haven't really had that. The closest thing that we've had to that is Tom Thibodeau. I guess Billy Donovan to a degree as well, because he was here for 6 years. He was one of the longest tenured head coaches in the league. But, I just want somebody who can be here a decade plus. Like, that's really what I look at it for. That's what I personally want out of a coach, but we'll see. Haize, I wouldn't mind Splitter because this is a young team, and seeing how and what he did with the Trailblazers, especially with the controversy that was surrounding them, he would be a good coach. I love Tiago Splitter on this list. He's definitely one of my favorite people on this. I think that Tiago Splitter has already shown that he can develop guys. He can coach among controversy. I think X's and O's, he's really solid as well. And, when you look at how Scoot Henderson has had his best season under Tiago Splitter, Denny Advia turned into an all-star under Tiago Splitter. And keep in mind, this is all without Tiago having a training camp. He was not supposed to be the head coach, and he coached to an above 500 record. They won 42 games with Shaedon Sharpe missing some huge time. Scoot Henderson missed some huge time for them as well. So, you've already had guys that miss time as well. Like Tiago, people who say automatically no to Tiago, I don't understand. People who say, hey, I have some concerns. He did it once. I understand that. But for people who are just like, you can absolutely not hire Tiago Splitter as your next head coach. Those are people that I don't understand. But, it is what it is. Not sure the cost, but BG came out of ATL. He drafted Dyson Daniels in New Orleans. Could a Giddey for Daniels swap happen? First of all, you're not going to trade Josh Giddey for Dyson. Like, what type of weed, what strain of marijuana are y'all smoking? Why is that happening? Why is that happening? I don't know. Like, that's crazy. That's wild what's happening. No cap, Larry Drew would have been solid as a head coach, but I think he too old now. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What the fuck are you talking about? Not to put Sam Cassell or Quinn on the list, but Wes on the list is pathetic too. First of all, Vladimir, I gotta tell you something. You bitch about everything. Like, literally, you wake up every day and find a way to bitch about the sun being out. Stop bitching so much. Get your vagina out of your goddamn pocket. Stop fucking pocket pussies and grow some balls and stop bitching all the time. I have never seen you ever in life say anything good about anything. You just been bitching about everything. Something good. The Bulls get the number 4 pick. You bitch that it's not number 1. Stop bitching. Go and touch some dirt. Take your shoes off. Put your feet in some grass. Touch a vagina every now and then. Get out of your mama's basement. Stop playing so many fucking video games and go and get in touch with Earth. Like, all you do is bitch. Literally, I have never in life seen you say anything remotely positive. Do you enjoy being alive? Do you enjoy being alive? Or do you wake up and you curse your mama every year for not swallowing you? What do you do? Stop bitching so much. All you do is bitch and complain. I have never met a grown, and you may be a teenager. I've never met somebody who bitches as much as you. Never. Everything that comes out of your mouth is another complaint. You need to go touch some coochie, my boy. Go and touch some coochie, please. There's too much good out here in the world. Vagina feels amazing. Go and actually touch some real vagina. Stop fucking them socks. They got you twisted up in the game right now, my boy. Calm the fuck down. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? Jesus Christ. Splitter being good, developing bigs, and we have possibly Wilson coming in, along with Noah, Leonard, Smith, and Modest. We may be able to unlock something there. Diddy ran a lot of stuff similar to Giddey, too. Could be. Could very well be. We'll see. Haize, not to mention, if we do decide to draft Darren Peterson, Splitter could probably help develop him easily since he helped Scoot Henderson. Well, not all development is all one for one, but, we'll see what's going to happen in regards to that one. I saw this on X, but trading Giddey to move number 3 and get Peterson among the assets. What are your thoughts on that? I talked about that heavily, and I just don't want to bog it down with something I've already talked about. I'm not necessarily the biggest on that deal, but I'm not necessarily the negative on it either. You just got to, if it works, it works. Hypothetically, if we draft Wilson and Jaden, what do you think of giving Watson an offer around 22 to Watson? What Watson are you talking about? I'm old. I may not know. What Watson are you talking? Peyton Watson. Okay, there you go. See, it was gonna come. It was gonna come after going off on Vladimir. My brain's been fucked. I wouldn't hate it. But I think you're gonna probably have to offer him closer to 28 to 30 if you want them not to match on that one. Vladimir just unsubscribed and missed his chance to touch some cooch. Man, listen, bro. I like that. All he does is complain and bitch, bro. Every single time. I love T Splitter as the next head coach. He helped Klingon make. That's another thing. He did help Klingon make a huge leap. You're definitely right on that one. Tiago, not Tiago, is the best candidate as a visioner. Hey, it is what it is. I like how they're taking their time with the process of finding a coach. Yeah, I think you definitely want to get your coach in place before the draft, right? I think. It kind of sucks not having them for the draft combine, but the Bulls are going to be bringing in guys for workouts in person. So I think that you're going to have to, figure that part out. But you kind of want to know what coaching and the system and the plan is, right? People always think about working with Olajuwon in the summer. Why don't more work with Al Jefferson? So many players could benefit from his footwork. Well, we know that Olajuwon actually works with people. We don't know. I've never heard of Al Jefferson work with. Al Jefferson could very well be retired somewhere in the mountains of Caucasus, surrounded by 50 white women. I don't know what Al Jefferson's doing. I haven't seen him since he retired. But people say Hakeem Olajuwon because we do know that Hakeem does like to work with players in the offseason. Like, that is something that Olajuwon really does like to have. So I'd rather take Joel and draft pick for P. Will than sign Duran. Yeah, that's bad business, in my opinion. I feel like Splitter can help shift our culture into a defensive one. Could very well be. Does Tiago being 6'10" bring back Phil Jackson? Listen, I was a kid when Phil Jackson was coaching. I don't give a shit about how tall our coach is. I don't give a damn if we hire a 4'11" coach. If they can coach this motherfucker, then that's all that matters, right? Like, that's all that matters. Was that Ja Morant trade fake? Nothing's real until it happens, but it's kind of more of a speculation piece, just like, hey, I wonder if all these pieces could work around. I don't think it was ever reported as like, hey, these teams are actually talking this trade specifically, in my personal opinion. Vagina does feel good. I get some in my wheelchair. That is crazy. I like that Rondo idea, as also think whenever Chris Paul gets ready, he may be a good coach. Do you think point guards would be more natural coaching fits? Yeah, you would think that, right? Like, especially like point guards who actually had to run offense and do that type of stuff themselves. You think that they kind of make a more natural fit to become coaches. That's why I was kind of surprised that Kirk Hinrich never really got into being an NBA assistant or a head coach by now. If you would have gave me thoughts when he retired, I would have thought that Kirk Hinrich would have been a head coach very soon after he retired, but it didn't happen. Is Dave Bliss the guy who had the issue with Baylor? I don't know off the top of my head. So one thing that you guys will find out about me, while I cover the NBA as a whole, both on Locked On NBA and over on NBA Central, and I stay in tune, storyline, like drama, shit like that, I don't really pay attention to that. Like that's not the kind of content that gets me excited, so it's not the kind of content that I really cover heavily, so that's why I don't start with that. Stop with these dumbass trades. Nobody's taking P. Will and moving back a spot. Sixers are not trading Embiid for P. Will either. My God, y'all smoking dick. Yeah, bro. I'm glad you said it, so I ain't got to go off on somebody else. I already had to go off on Vladimir. But all right, I just wanted to bring you guys that news. Like I said, I will have a more in-detailed and in-depth covering of each of these 6 candidates. I'll go into details on their strengths, their weaknesses, their history, all that type of stuff. We'll have that for you guys tomorrow, so stay in tune with us for that. But for anybody that's just jumping in, according to Jake Fischer, he reported on the Stein line that the Chicago Bulls' 6 finalists for their head coaching position, Sean Sweeney, Micah Nori, Sean Sweeney, who's currently with the San Antonio Spurs, the lead assistant there, Micah Nori, the lead guy, behind Chris Finch with Minnesota, Dave Bliss, who's currently with the OKC Thunder, Tiago Splitter, the interim head coach with the Portland Trail Blazers, James Borrego, who was the interim coach with the New Orleans Pelicans, who they've just hired their new coach, and then Wes Unseld Jr., who's a current assistant with Chicago. Thus the list of the reported 6 finalists according to Jake Fischer. We'll see what happens after that if any of these guys end up getting the job. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the start of the season, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.